Okay, this video is going to be showing you how to do some basic coding for your Vex robot that you've got. What you're going to do is you open up the V5 code, not the VR. If you see the yellow VR here, you're in the wrong spot. You want to see the red V5. First you're going to do is you're going to go to File, start a new text project. Everything we do, it will discard this one, we do is in Python. So that's going to create us a new code project. Right off the gate, we're going to save our code. So I'm going to go down here to File, and I'm going to save my code. I'm going to give it a new name. Every file is saved with your first name and then what it is that you're supposed to do. So we're going to call this one 5 because this is for our 5 to get us going 5 directions. And I'm going to hit the save button, and you're going to notice that it saved my code to where it is. Up at the top here, you can change the slot that you're saving into with your team. There's multiple of you, 5, 6 students. Each of you pick a slot. That's where you're going to save it. Before we do anything, we're going to set up what we're going to do is we're going to set our project here. So we're going to change our name for the project. Remember, anything with a hashtag is a code. So we're going to call this 5 path because this is our 5 path project. The author is always you. So we're going to put our name in. So I'm going to put my name in. So I've got my name in here. And then I can put on this what it is. So it's a V5 Python project, or you could describe what it is that you're trying to get to do. We do not put anything here, so we're not going to keep any. We keep this Vex import, leave everything there. We start our code after this bottom line. Before anything, we want to add in our motors and things because you can see right now I have no motion, so I don't have anything. So your robot that you built, you're going to come up here. We're going to make sure that we click on this. We're going to add a device, and you can add your motors. Now you can add an individual motor if you're controlling them individually. You could add a group of motors if you're controlling a pair of motors, or in our case, we're just going to make a drivetrain. So we added 4 motors. We're going to make a 4-motor drivetrain. You're going to put the ports that you've got your motors in. Whatever ports you want, I'm going to just pick for mine 8, 10, 18, and 20. We don't have any of these that we're doing yet, so we're going to hit done. So we've got everything done. Now what you can see is it started and it added me the ability to start my drivetrain code. Couple of options when you're writing your code, and this is how you're going to get your stuff set up. The first thing we can do is if everything works linear, if I want to have my drivetrain velocity, there's 2 ways I can do this. I have my drivetrain set drive velocity. I can go ahead and just click and drag, drop this right into my code. It's going to set everything up. My drivetrain set drive velocity. By default, it's at 50%. If I want my robot to go really slow, I can put it to 25%. If I want it to go really fast, I'm going to put it to 100. So I'm going to make it so that my robot goes 100%. Now, if I have a line of code above this, so I'm just going to hit enter and I'm going to put a line of code above this. So I'm going to have my drivetrain drive forward. So again, I'm going to drop this in. I'm going to have my drivetrain drive forward. So when I drive forward and it's going to go 200 millimeters, it's going forward at the default, which is 50% speed, because the next line of command is where it changes the velocity. So it'll change the velocity after this. So you want to make sure that you put your stuff in the right order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this one out because I want the top line to be what it's going to set its velocity for. I hit the enter key. Now, instead of dragging stuff in, I can also type. I can start to type in drive, and I can do drivetrain, and then I can put it in here. I'm going to do dot drive, and I can either do, if I just do the direction, it'll do direction, or I'm going to do this drive for. So this gives us, I'm going to go forward or reverse. I'm going to go forward, put my comma in. What's the amount of distance? I'm going to go 24. And then I'm going to have to type in, I can either do millimeters if I want to do millimeters, or inches if I want to do inches. So I'm going to do capital I, and I'll do inches. And you see how it turns yellow there, so I know I've got it, and I hit the comma there. What we want to make sure is that it follows the code that we've got here. So I want to make sure that I've got my comma in there so that we've got it. If you're not sure how you're typing it in, because you notice mine is wrong. I'm going to hit this to go back. If I want to run the code, I can hit this build button. It'll build my code to tell me if there's any errors. Say I left this comma out of here. So I'm going to take this comma out of here. I hit the build button. It's going to show me check error console invalid sign, forgot a comma, line 59. So it gives me even where we think it is, and it kind of gave it here. So I'm going to make sure I put my comma in here. I can also look at my example code or see what it does here to get my code. How do I use this? Direction, distance, units, and it gives me examples of how to do this. Drivetrain, drive forward, reverse 5 inches, right? Or however it is. If I hit this build again, it'll build my code, shows me that there's no errors. Next line of code, I can have it turn. Same thing, I'm going to drop this in. Drivetrain turn forward. This is going to make a right turn for 90 degrees. I could just as easily turn left and make sure that I've got it. If I just do left underscore or left lowercase, it's different. It doesn't do that. I got to make sure that it's left all caps so that it's in the right colors so we can get our stuff set up. Additional code that you can do if you wanted to do this. I'll show you a different way. So here's, I'm going to do here alternate way to code. I can have my drivetrain drive forward. It'll just drive forward for a certain amount of time. Then I could put in my wait. So if I go to do my wait 1 second, so I would do what this one does is I can do so wait 2 seconds or 3 seconds, then do my next command, which is drivetrain turn right. And then I could have it wait for certain seconds. So I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to do my wait 1 second, then do the next command. So here's the difference in these two. This first one that we've got here, so these 2 lines of code, are set for, or these 3 lines of code. So we've set our velocity. So this line here and this line here have set up to say, I'm going to go forward for 24 inches. Then I'm going to do my next command. Then I'm going to go turn left for 90 degrees. Then I'm going to do my next command. So these are great if you're trying to get very precise stuff in here. If you're just trying to get roundabout, you could do this. I'm going to drive forward and it's going to drive forward until it gets its next command. So it's driving forward, and then you're saying, okay, wait 3 seconds before I do anything else. Then turn right. If I take this line of code out and I do drive forward and turn right, the robot will immediately start to turn right. And the reason for this is because it drives forward, then it goes to the very next line of command, and it happens so quickly that you won't even see it go forward. So that your robot, if you do this line of code, will turn right and wait for 1 second for the next line of command. So if you're just going to do forwards and rights, you have to put waits in to slow your code down so that your robot will wait until it gets the directions that you need to be successful. And this will get you going on your code adventure.